Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Pup. We're back with week 4 of the PPDL Little Cup Plus Draft League. This week we are facing off against Deadly Rose and her scary team. I'll have the teams on the screen right now, but make sure you guys go check out the last episode where Delibird absolutely went off. Hopefully it can do it again, but we are facing a Marini, which is a little bit scary for my Delibird. I don't really hit that thing too hard. Even with Drill Run, it's not too bad. They also have, Cutie Fly, which is really scary to set up with Quiver Dances. Sticky Webs are banned, though, which is nice. They have Terra Drowzee, Golett, I said Marini, Hatena, Mareep, Horsey, Noibat, Fampi, and then Snowrunt. My team is also on the screen there. I'm really threatened by the Cutie Fly, especially if it gets like 1 or 2 Quiver Dances up, especially if they chip down my Tink earlier in the game, then it's going to be really tough for me. I also think their Golett is a big threat to my team. I don't really have anything that wants to take on like ground moves from that Pokemon, or Dynamic Punch is really strong against me, so that worries me. Drowzee as a Terra Captain is something that can scare me for sure. I don't know what kind of Terra type they would like in this game. Potentially like Fire or Ground to be able to punish my Tink, which should be the first answer every single time. And if that Pokemon gets like chipped down, then that leads to the Cutie Fly endgame, which is really scary. Other Pokemon I expect, I think Horsey makes a lot of sense in this matchup. It's just a nice, it's a nice defensive Pokemon versus my Delibird, actually, if I don't run Seed Bomb, which I'm not this week. And then obviously the Marini, which is Regenerator. I'm clicking Toxic Spikes versus my team. It's just really annoying for me to deal with. And I really hope that they don't bring that Pokemon here. The first Pokemon on my team is going to be Delibird. This Pokemon's really strong versus their team with Triple Axle plus Drill Run, which basically punishes their entire team. We also have Acrobatics, which is really strong if we get to use our Lumberry, which is there just in case they have Static Marini or Mareep that they want to switch into. They could also Toxic with the Marini, like I said, or Stun Spore on the Cutie Fly is what I more likely expect. So if they lead with the Cutie Fly, I really like Rapid Spinning turn 1. I'm faster than their entire team after that. If we see Stun Spore from them, then next turn we just knock everything out with Triple Axle plus Acrobatics basically versus their entire team. Next up is going to be Jangmo-O. Eviolite Terra Ground in this game is really nice to punish the Marini. It's nice for the Mareep as well. And just powers up a really strong Earthquake. We also have Dragon Dance, Dragon Claw, and then Iron Head, which hits the Cutie Fly really hard. If they do choose to be like Terra Fairy on the Drowzee, then we can punish that Pokemon as well. We have Passion Berry Mudbray as the third Pokemon on my team, mostly for that Horsey, but it can also be used if they want to be Terra Water Drowzee or the Marini if they want to be a little bit more offensive with it. We have Earthquake. Heavy Slam hits the Cutie Fly, especially on switch-in, but they can't one-shot me, I don't think, unless they're like Choice Specs Giga Drain. I think something like that. We have Close Combat, which is not really the best here, but it could be used in some niche situations. And then Stealth Rock, really nice if we see Noibat plus Cutie Fly in the endgame, because I think a Focus Sash on either or both of those Pokemon looks really strong into me. Next up is our second Eviolite user in Makihita. We are Guts just in case they do set up Toxic Spikes or we get Staticked, but Knockoff plus Earthquake is really nice. We don't need any stabs besides Drain Punch versus their team. Doesn't really hit anything anyways, maybe the Fampi. But Knockoff for Eviolites, especially on like Marini, but we can punish it mostly with Earthquake. And then Bullet Punch is really nice to pick off like weakened Noibat, pick off Cutie Fly if they're like below 50%. I think we should be able to knock them out, and potentially just anything that we see that is really fast and annoying for my team to deal with. We have an Oranberry Tink, very basic, very similar to everything that we've brought, just max Spadef and Fizdef on this Pokemon with a sassy nature, so it should be able to take on Cutie Fly plus Drowzee pretty well. Also the Noibat, I do think that they have Heat Wave or Flamethrower though, so might not be the best, but Knockoff plus Draining Kiss, really strong Encore, and then Stealth Rock on another Pokemon here. We also have an Oranberry Ekans here, doubling up on that Oranberry with Coil plus Trailblaze, and then once we get that up, Earthquake plus Poison Jab really just tears through their entire team. It's nice to have a Grounded Poison on the team as well in case they want to set up Toxic Spikes, which aren't like amazing in Little Cup. They only should do like 2 damage every turn to each Pokemon, but it's really annoying for my team to deal with. And if they do want to bring like that more stally Marini, plus like Horsey Core, plus like Fampi, it could get really annoying, and I don't want to just get burned by that. So I thought maybe bringing the Grounded Poison would be good in this game. That's going to be all from me for now. Hope you guys enjoy the battle. Let's get into it. Alright, we are here with the battle. Played this at home, so not having live audio. This is a post. But we look pretty solid versus their team. They did bring the Horsey, but no Marini. It's a little bit interesting. Fampi plus Hatena is really annoying. Drowzee's there. I'm really worried about that Cutie Fly being able to set up and potentially sweep us with Quiver Dance. We're just going to lead with our Delibird, which is going to be our designated lead in this game. I am scared about the water type Horsey there, but not having Marini as well in this game is really strong for me. But good luck, have fun to our opponents. We look pretty solid here. I think Delibird just has a great matchup, and it does versus a lot of teams. The combination of ice and flying stabs are just really, really strong, and it's hard to resist. And even something like, like a Geodude that would potentially resist both of those. I guess not even. I was gonna say any rock type I hit with like a Seed Bomb anyways. That's why we have Mudbray, but Geodude doesn't even resist ice. But they're gonna lead with the Drowzee here. So I'm a little bit worried off the bat of like Terra Fire. I think it makes a lot of sense. No matter what, like Tinkating is the switch. If they're Terra Fire, then hopefully I'll just have other ways to deal with a Cutie Fly in the back later. Potentially being able to break it down with Makihita, clicking Bullet Punch to break its sash. Maybe being able to click buttons with like a Delibird or a Jangmo that can Terra out of my Dragon type weakness. But they're just going to go for Hypnosis turn 1. So if we stayed in there, we would have been fine because we're Vital Spirit, so they can never put us to sleep anyways. But, we also had the Lum, so we would have been totally fine there. So maybe just a prediction from them, which is totally fine by me. We're just going to go for a knockoff here, knock off an Eviolite potentially. They don't show to have it. They show to have a weakness policy here, which is really not what I expected. And now if this thing is like Terrafire or Terra Ground, it kind of just bodies me. But they hit this Hypnosis, second time's the charm for them, I guess. And I just have to accept the fact that if they are going to be like some sort of Terra variant, I'm just going to have to eat it and just try to beat them. I should be able to easily eat anything for now, unless it's like that Terra Fire, Terra Blast. But they end up going for Psychic Terrain, so it's going to be some sort of weird expanding force shenanigans here. I think it's a really, really fun set from Deadly Rose there. Huge shout outs to them for bringing something crazy like this. But we're just gonna, try to spam versus them. Doesn't seem like they're Terra because they're not clicking it. I wonder what Terra it was, because if they were like Terra Psychic, they should have clicked it anyways. We're gonna wake up here. We're gonna get a Draining Kiss off. It's gonna do not the most damage. This thing actually looks like it has some defense or I guess HP investment, maybe some Spadef, but like max Spatak, maybe max HP or some Spadef investment on that thing. But we're just going to go for a knockoff now, and we're going to be able to pick off the Drowzee. Pretty sure it was a roll for that to knock it out, but we take those for sure. Should do obviously a lot less damage with them not having an item on that Pokemon, but we dodge a bullet there. We also still have our Oranberry intact, which is really nice. But Pickpocket isn't going to be too good in this game because they don't have a lot of Pokemon that like to make contact with me. Because they have Cutie Fly, Noivern, Horsey, all those Pokemon are like completely special. And that's mostly what we're switching in on anyways. They go Fampi here, which is, they're one physical Pokemon that's not really making contact with Earthquake or Ice Shard, which probably are their two best moves at this point. Maybe a sort of rock move, which is why I am a little bit worried about switching in Delibird here, but I just expect them to go for the straight up play and go straight for an Earthquake. They have Sturdy, so they might not expect me to be able to one-shot them anyways. So yeah, they go for the Earthquake. We made a good read there. We get our Delibird in here, and as long as we hit some triple axles here, we should be able to just pick up a KO versus their team. They don't have anything that swaps in. So we hit one, we hit two, we gotta hit the third one, and we do it. Delibird clutches up there. We're just gonna get a free knockout on Fampi. That's what they get for not bringing in the Marini. I mean, obviously we'd be able to click Drill Run into that Pokemon too, but it would not knock it out. And if we ended up getting like Toxic or I guess we are Lum, but if they ended up doing a lot of damage to us, being able to revenge kill us pretty easily, it would have been a tough situation for me to deal with. Now they're going to go out to Noibat here, definitely threatening the fire move versus me, and they're obviously faster. I'm worried about like Choice Specs variant at this point, because I don't think I would ever die to anything if it's not Specs, but I might as well just swap out. They're just going to go for a fire move here anyways. I don't think it's worth losing this Pokemon, but I end up calcing it. I say, okay, as long as they're not Specs, we're going to live. And we live. I probably shouldn't have done that, because we only hit one time with triple axle. So we're kind of in a bad situation here anyways, where we have to swap out, where I probably should have done it last turn anyways. We're going to go into our Guts Makihita. Would be nice to have Thick Fat for this specific scenario, but not the end of the world, because if they end up burning us, we get our Guts boost anyways. We're going to swap in, and it does little to nothing, since we do have that Eviolite. And we're just going to go for a Bullet Punch here. If they don't expect us to have it, then they stay in, and Noibat would go down. But they do end up switching out here, which is a good play from them. They're kind of getting me here, because they get to go out to the Hatena. Would have been able to take a Drain Punch as well, but if I predicted them to switch and went for a knockoff, been in a really solid spot. We do get a nasty little crit as they are leftovers, which heads up is not a very good item in Little Cup. It only restores 1 HP a turn. I mean, it's not that the biggest deal when you only have like 20 some HP, but it's a lot worse than it would be in like a level 100 battle situation. But we're gonna bring out Tinkatink right here. Should be able to wall this thing basically forever. They do T-Wave, which is fine. I don't think this Pokemon has Mystical Fire. Actually, it might have Mystical Fire. But this is the thought process that I'm going through at this time. Like, does this Pokemon really have Mystical Fire at this point? It's a level 5 Hatena. Can it really get that move? I know Hatterene obviously has it. But we threaten them with a nice big knockoff here. And they do go for Mystical Fire, so they do have it. We're going to get a lot of HP back here because our Oran Berry. And it's totally fine. We eat it. I knew I should probably eat anything with our Max Spadef and Sassy nature. And we were going to get fully paralyzed, which is quite unfortunate, but not the end of the world at all. As long as we're able to hit the knockoff on the next turn, we should be able to severely weaken this Pokemon to the point where Hariyama or Makihita, sorry, looks insanely good. But they're going to miss the full fire again. No critical hit, which is really nice. And do we get full parried again? No, we do not. So we're going to get a nice knockoff here. Bring that Pokemon to like 35% maybe. Looking at it, I don't have my ruler with me, no calcs or anything like that. But at this point, I am just gonna, try to preserve a little bit of differential. I feel like I'm in a really good spot in this game so far. They want to click a fairy move into me predicting the switch, then good on them, but I think Mystical Fire makes a lot of sense from them at this point. So I'm gonna go hard out to Jangmo-O. Just be a little bit aggressive with this Pokemon. I feel like Delibird looks really strong here anyways. So if they wanted to knock me out there, I go out to Delibird and I could potentially get a kill with Rapid Spin and then sweep. We're going to Dragon Dance with Terra Ground on Jangmo-O here. If they want to try to T-Wave me, I'm in a great spot. That's basically like half of the reason I went out to this Pokemon, is I figured that they would want to click T-Wave onto my Terra Ground. Obviously I could have been Lum, but they do see that I'm Eviolite from the damage if they are calcing or just paying that much attention. We're going to get up to +1/+1. Really strong Pokemon here. We should be faster than their entire team, barring any Choice Scarfers. Even then, I mean, we should be able to eat anything. As they Drain and Kiss, it does barely anything to me. They are going to get a little bit of HP back at this point, but we are the Terra Captain, so not going to be taking too much from that. And I'm looking really solid. They have the Horsey in the back. That is a huge threat to me. If I Dragon Dance again, I might need 1 or 2 more Dragon Dances to be able to take out Horsey. But at this point, I'm just going to try to get as much damage as possible. I get Hatena down, which is just very important in securing the endgame with Makihita. With a Bullet Punch, it's really just able to destroy their team. I don't even think the Cutie Fly knocks me out in 1 hit before a boost if they're not like Choice Specs. I think Moonblast we should be able to eat since we are Eviolite, and 2 Bullet Punches will definitely take it out. Now they're going to go out to Horsey, potential Eviolite Pokemon here, which is why it didn't really matter if I just want to keep Dragon Dancing again. If they ended up switching out, it would have been tough for me anyways. We're going Dragon Claw here. They are definitely not Eviolite. They Ice Beam, we live on 1. So big misplay to not like Hydro Pump or Surf or whatever they had. And I probably should have clicked Earthquake anyways because it does more damage since it's Stab and 20 more base power than a Dragon Claw, but it doesn't matter. We're going to be able to 2-hit KO this Horsey, which is really solid. Getting this Pokemon out of the way is really nice. And their options now are very limited. We're outspeeding Noibat as long as they're not Choice Scarf. Same with the Cutie Fly. And if they're not Focus Sash, then we probably just win. But they go hard out to the Cutie Fly, which means they're definitely Focus Sash. If we ended up getting our rocks up earlier, it would have been really nice for this Pokemon. But we can just click Ironhead. We have a, 20% chance to flinch. So we're not even faster. I really thought I was. I thought I EV'd, but it must have been like a speed tie at this point or something like that. But they're going to get their Quiver Dance off, which is really scary. We're going to Ironhead, bring them down to the Focus Dash. And this is where the game is really scary because my Tinkating is severely limited. It's basically like at 1 HP. It'll die to anything, especially at +1. Delibird's really low as well, but we do have the Makihita in the back with Bullet Punch. That just cleans up the game at this point. And right now I have 6 Pokemon alive there too. I'm looking for a way that I can secure a potential 6-0, but it's just not going to happen at this point. If they want to get aggressive and go for another Quiver, I stay in just to Ironhead, but they don't. They're just going to Moonblast, take the knockout on my Jangmo, and we're going to be able to go out to Makihita, secure another 2 knockouts for that Pokemon through Bullet Punch, and just win the game. There's nothing that they can have, no priority, no, like, they're not dazzling, no abilities like that to be able to dodge the Bullet Punch. They already saw me press it in the game, so they know their fate is sealed. Game is called by Makihita, and we're going to move to 4-0. We are atop of the league, I think +13 differential, really strong through 4 weeks. We have another 4 to go. Basically locked in the playoffs as long as we don't just like get 6-0'd every single week. Should be pretty decent to make it no matter what. We can afford to lose like 1, 2, even 3 games, but I'd love to win as much as possible just because the first and second seeds will get a first round bye. Top 6 out of 12 make the playoffs. Hopefully we're going to be one of those top 2. Right now we are tied up with Cart at 4-0 +13. That's going to be about it. If you guys do enjoy the Little Cup content, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe. I love these sort of draft videos, and you'll see more coming in the future. That's about it for me. See you in the next one. Peace out.